Alright, so I want to show you guys what the game plan is here. Now I got two pieces of aluminum there clamped. I had to pick an orientation of how I wanted this engine. Gonna do it like that. I want this to be as flat as possible where the carb is mounting. I got a good amount of room for an exhaust. And I'm gonna pull the engine back enough so that this CVT goes just past this bar like that. Alright. So the plan here is going to be the shaft is coming through. I'm going to put a pillow block here. I have an engine stud right here. It's pretty hefty. It's like a grade 5 engine stud. I'm going to mount that, mount the plate out here, put a pillow block on it, and have it come in back to this so that it's like a sturdy mounting surface. That way the jack shaft that's going to come out of that, because I am going to convert this to 5/16 or 5/8 bearings, have it go straight through, come out 5/8 pillow block, and I'm going to do a freewheel over here going down to my pedals, and then on this one I'm going to have it going back to the rear. So I got plenty of room to pull all this off. I'm probably going to end up making a custom crank in this one. And from what I've seen, it's really not that hard. You just make a bigger piece that goes in, bearings. I don't know, I'll explain it later, but we'll do a pin through sprocket, line it up wherever I want, and we're good to go. But I'm definitely going off this. We're going to do a freewheel one. Like I was talking about on my wife's trike here, I had to put a big sprocket on her because she's got a little bit of a right side weakness. So that's a pit bike one, and it'll actually fit the hub I'm going to use. I'm going to be using a pit bike hub and all that. I'm probably going to use a Worksman wheel for the back, and I'm going to be doing a moped disc hydraulic brake. So we're going to make an adapter for this as well to come out to hold that. On the front here, I'm going to be doing the hydraulic one as well. I'm probably going to have to weld a custom bracket though to hold that one. Will I be using these? No idea yet, but it's holding my frame level where I need it so that I can work on it for now. But that's where we're at. I'm going to cut a plate right now. Just the center hole. I'm going to find out all the centers of that. Put it back on the mill. We'll cut the pattern. And then we will have a bracket. Now, I've been giving this a lot of thought too. Originally, I was going to bend to L and go in, drill my own holes. I'm going to instead take a piece of angle iron, pretty hefty, like 1/4 inch, maybe 2x2, and I'm going to bolt it down 4 places into this plate. And then on the plate that I make for this, I'm going to cut 3 holes that I can slide back and forth and put like a 3/8 bolt through or something like that to hold it to the angle iron. I'll thread the holes in and we'll do that so I have a little bit of adjustment. So it's going to be a couple different things I got going on. Since I got all this stuff playing where I got to have this in line with that and then the back wheel and all that, I got to really take all that into consideration, have ways to move things. So I think we're on the right track here. This is a 1-inch shaft, so I'm going to be cutting a 38mm hole. Gotta remember, everything's English on this too. Everything's 5/16, 1/4 inch, 3/8. This was 5/16. Oh god, 28 pitch. I had to get like a grade 5 bolt. So, you know, if it'll even focus. Yeah, probably not. Those threads are super fine, but the idea is more thread surface, I guess, holds better, or higher torque values. When I set this bolt in, apparently the foot-pounds is 25 foot-pounds to set that. So it's a little different too for engine shaft. And then each bolt, I think around says 20 to hold in place. So we're going crazy here, but I'm going to cut an aluminum plate at 1/4 inch, and we're going to go from there. So here we go. So anyways, I get a lot of people ask me about this. How fast does it actually go? That's it. So this part right now, we're at 20 minutes. It's got 3 millimeters to go. So, you know, that's how it cuts parts though. And then it'll do the whole pattern after when I set it up differently. And no, that is not water. It's actually a lithium polymer that's made just for aluminum. I mean, that's pretty much all I cut. And cast aluminum, it works really good with, so that it doesn't stick to the blade. And if you notice, I don't have a ridiculous, like, cut rate. It's like 800 RPM, roughly, cutting the aluminum. So, it's a tiny machine. It's a little Harbor Freight. But, you know, I 3D print these boxes, and that's what it's doing. But, yeah, it's just a little mini mill from Harbor Freight. They're like, I don't know, 500 bucks, something like that. And I converted it. So, but, you know, I get asked all the time, what's it look like? That's it. I got 220 millimeter PC fans, and that's it. That's all it runs it. An old Windows 98 PC, a Pentium 166 with 512 kilobytes of memory. No, I'm sorry, 512 megabytes. So, but, I mean, that's all the program requires. And I use a parallel port, so you can see I had to get an older one because you need a parallel port to control this. So, anyways, just something interesting, but that's what cuts this stuff. Just a Harbor Freight mill. Alright, so here's going to be the plate. And then on this side, there'll be a piece of angle iron that bolts down to the mount. So, we got this done. Upward and onward. I'm going to give you a rough idea where I'm at. I still got it clamped. I got my bracket all on. All that good stuff. So, what we're going to do is put the angle iron now across and then bolt all this to it. But just to give you an idea what we're looking at here, it's pretty centered. When you got your seat here, your legs are going, I usually put that foot forward anyway, so this one back. I think I'm going to be good. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to route the exhaust. There's going to be, I'm thinking, when I do it, it's going to be an under one and out the back. Now I got my intake completely flat up here. I'm going to use one of those Honda, I think it's like a 125 dirt bike. 4-stroke ones, the intake, one of those cast ones. It should sit on this perfect and come out, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. But, you know, that's where I'm at with that. To give you an idea what I'm doing with the shaft here, it's going to be like this. So what we're going to do is on the crank, it's going to come up to a freewheel. And then here, it's going to come back, and it's going to go to the back wheel, freewheel. So we're looking at something like that. The idea is going to be We're going to use this somehow. I don't know how yet. Probably make a bracket that like all ties this in so that we can hold the pillow block here. So we're just missing the frame by a little tiny bit. Not bad. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be perfect. You got to remember too, I don't have it all bolted up, so we can still slide this a little. Probably give this like 1/8 of an inch or so. But right now, I also just have a board propping up that one stud. Because next step, this is my exhaust. I got these 2 bolts here. And we're going to do something to mount down to this. We're going to make some kind of mounting system there to support the engine as well. So, and there's my bolt holes, and this will hold that thick piece of angle iron, and the bolts will go through it. So, it's gonna work. It's gonna take a little bit. I got my exhaust. I got roughly about 4.5, 5 inches of clearance, because you gotta remember, this thing is 50 by 25. So this is gonna be a pretty decent pipe on this one. I'm not really sure how we're gonna run all this yet, because I got my sprocket here going up and all that crap. So it may be an under. I might have to go up and under kind of deal. I don't know yet. No idea. I mean, we could actually use the stock one even, which would be hilarious. Oh, where is that bad boy? Could put the stock one back on. Without, let me see. Which would be funny as hell. Can I do that? Oh my god, the stock one's even an option. Check that out. So yeah, I could even mount the stock one out here. Oh man, I don't know. We're gonna come up with something. I'm not really worried about the exhaust. Now that I even know that the stock one fits, I'm not even gonna worry about it at the moment. First thing's gonna be get all that mounted. I don't know if my camera's, there we go. We're gonna get all this mounted. We're gonna make it solid. I'm gonna put that CNC bracket up underneath, going up to this plate too for a third mount. Gotta remember, this thing's gonna have a lot of pull. All right. So, I mean, you just gotta realize. Oh, right now I just have the shaft flipped. I'm gonna pull those bearings. See, I just got a clamp holding it to the thing. And we're going to pull the bearings, put that all together, use a 12-inch shaft. I think by the time it's done, it'll be about here, roughly, the shaft. So it's going to be in a pillow block. There'll be a nut. It'll be through a plate. The plate will probably have the nut like inside it where the cutout is spinning. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But all in all, I mean, that's going to be the basic idea right there. I just wanted to, a lot of people were trying to like visualize what I'm talking about. So we're going to have a hub with a freewheel. We're going to have a 5/8 shaft adapter. I'm going to cut threads on to put a freewheel on. And my crank's going to go to it. And then we're going to use one of these bad boys. And it's going to go off that jack shaft back to my wheel. So we got this, and it's going to go back right next to the freewheel that'll be attached to one of these monsters, which is a pit bike freewheel, since the hub that I have is going to take it. And I'm probably going to use a sprocket of that size. I believe that's a 40 tooth on there. So we're going to have a 40 tooth back freewheel go into, I think this is 10, something like that. It's close. Never even counted it up here. And then my freewheel will be right here next to it. So, I don't know. Let me think. Let me know what you think. I mean, it's something different. I don't really have to worry about pedaling it. The wheel, freewheeling, it's going to be kind of interesting because I don't have to, I don't know. There'll be no, you let off. There's no drag from the CVT slowing down. Be interesting as hell to see how that works. But that pit bike one has 12 teeth that engage and it's really coarse. And then, pull start and go. Alexa, garage off.